Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2FM, a podcast in which Bhargav, aka Embedded Magician, and I, Sankalp Kuram, will be sharing anecdotes, opinions on plethora of topics. If you're new to this channel and like our content, then please like, share, and comment on the video and subscribe to our channel. So let's begin. Um, Today, it's we're going to talk about something which is quite disappointing to me as a Nadal fan. So that is about the French Open wrap up, and it's been like something that's was overdue. I think it was always coming that Nadal will going to lose some of the other French Open, and you can't expect Nadal to just keep winning till he retires. So it was very disheartening to see Nadal lose, but something that we were expecting it to happen. And all credit to Djokovic for winning that match and taking and winning the French Open. So we're going to talk about that, and we have a very special guest along with us, Vamshi Krishna, who is a Djokovic fan, and who is we can see in his smile how happy he is with the Djokovic
happy,
win.
yeah.
And how he's grooming his beard with pride.
That was
Right.
right. I agree.
So yeah,
That's a
welcome
good point,
Vamshi.
yeah.
Thank you for
Hi,
joining us
guys.
today. Hi
Glad to be
Bhargav.
here.
Hey, Sankalp. Hi, Vamshi. Welcome
Hi.
to the episode again.
Thank you.
So yeah, we will talk about a bunch of things. But before I just wanted to get a quick thoughts on how did like in the last weeks, what was your experience of watching Friends? Just a quick thought. How did it go about, and what did you like, and what did not like? Then we'll get into matches. So yeah, Bhargav, what is your experience of watching French Open?
See, I wanted Nadal to win French Open. To be honest, but but it was disheartening when I woke up and saw next day, because I saw till the third set, the greatest third set, but I slept after that, unfortunately. But when in the morning when I woke up, it was I felt very bad, but that's okay. Finally, I heard that there was a great highest level of tennis played in that match, so
Yeah.
I'm happy that that happened. But in the final again, I wanted Djokovic to win, even though when he was 2 sets down. It's not that I'm fan of someone based on the match which is happening. I support a particular player. So in the final,
Yeah.
I wanted Djokovic to win. Even after 2 sets down, I expected Djokovic to win from there as well.
Yeah.
And I was happy. Why I wanted Nadal to win is he might not play, or he might not win from next year. That's why maybe this is the last chance that he had or something. Maybe that's the only reason why I wanted him.
Yeah.
It was more of emotional rather than based on how their abilities. But obviously Djokovic proved that he is he is the greatest of all time to me. But yeah, so your thoughts, Vamsi?
I was extremely happy after the semis. Actually, I thought that was enough for me, as as a Djokovic fan. But even after the final, I had my doubts actually before the final. Though I thought Tsitsipas had a great chance because of the emotional,
Emotional drain that happened.
drain. Yeah, exactly. Emotional drain that happened to Djokovic. I thought there could be match could be interesting, and it was really interesting. And extremely happy. And man. So I believe that semis was the greatest match for me as I've seen. Like I've seen a lot of tennis matches, but that was the greatest match for me. And man, extremely happy after the final.
Yeah.
So
I really enjoyed the 2 weeks. To be honest, French Open is something that I keenly watched, like everything from how the conditions are, how the climate is going to be in each of the Nadal's
And also the
matches.
timings
The start
match
of the
perfectly.
timings,
We
and it's
have
very feasible. Yeah, it's very
exactly.
feasible.
Yeah.
US Open is the worst. Yeah,
US
US Open is
Open
the
is the
worst
worst.
to watch.
It's the worst.
So yeah, I mean the
Wimbledon
timings,
is also
everything.
fine. Wimbledon is also fine. We can watch
Yeah,
every match.
Wimbledon is also fine. So I feel like, a lot of things this year, like unlike, last year when it was played in October with the very cool conditions, and people were complaining about how cool the conditions were and how bad it is for the body. And now they played again in the hotter conditions that they generally play. And luckily this time there was, I think, far less rain. I think it was raining here and
I
there,
think there's
but
not much rain
much
actually.
for us.
They've used the roof only for one match.
Yeah.
So, and that
So
was another great point actually. Weather was really great. Yeah.
The weather was really
that
good.
usually was the problem for me watching French Open, because a lot of the matches get by rain, and this time it wasn't the case.
Especially,
even though they had a roof, but still, I had doubts with the weather. But extremely happy with the weather too.
Especially like Djokovic, a lot of Djokovic matches were impacted because of rain,
Exactly,
or they had to push it to the next day, and the tire, like probably 100% Djokovic was not there in some of the finals that he played. It happened to Djokovic, a lot of these things.
Sure.
But I think one of the things I felt they could have done a little better was the scheduling. I felt they didn't schedule those matches in a proper way. There were a lot of matches were important, where good matches were played when there was no crowd.
No
and
fans.
there were then there were matches which was played in Philippe Chatrier, which could have been played in the other courts. So I felt like they could have done a little better on those things.
Sure.
So that's the a little bit about how things went. So let's get into the matches. We'll talk about quarters, I think. Go ahead, Bhargav.
So so that's a overall feeling on French Open, how it happened in 2021. But let's go from, because it was an interesting tournament. So let's start from quarters and how the matches panned out and what are the results.
So I think let's talk about the first quarter final one, which was between Novak Djokovic and Berrettini. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be a close fight. Like, I did not see it, because like Djokovic is someone who plays really well against people who have good forehand and good serve, big servers, because of his returning capability. He was the greatest of all time returner. I felt like Djokovic has the game to beat any of these kind of people who have big serves. So I didn't see like a real matchup against Djokovic, but it turned out to be like a really interesting match. It was probably would have gone fifth set. And
there was a lot of drama actually, because the fans had to leave. So there was a bit of drama because of that. But match was very, 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 very good match. The first two sets was as expected. That just like we thought. I thought Djokovic would return good. Defend him very good, and he can force those unforced errors. But after that, the third set he actually played really well. Berrettini. And dude, he has a very big serve, dude, and the forehand is monstrous. I haven't seen him live like a lot of matches, but he has like very good 1-2 punch. That's really good. That's why he's in top 10. That's why he's in top 10. I got to see that. Exactly.
He clearly showed why he's in the top 10.
And he's a quarterfinal. So be there for a reason. He was.
And one other thing is that I felt like Djokovic, even Berrettini playing the best level he can play, he was able to just be on par with Djokovic. And Djokovic was making no mistakes. I remember him having 0 unforced errors or 1 or 2 unforced errors almost in the last point, right?
Even that set too, in tiebreaker, Djokovic had 5-4 lead in the tiebreak, and he had to serve 2 points. He made two unforced errors till that time. He made 2 straight. So that was very unexpected from Djokovic, but man. So but he had to come back and he played good. That's a good test actually, before coming to Nadal. If it was a straight set, things could have been different. He was more tested because of the fans, because of the drama, mentally tested. So that actually served him really well against Nadal, I think.
And one other thing is that, like talking about this quarter, right, where Djokovic and Berrettini was said, we were looking for a matchup between Berrettini and, Roger Federer, which didn't happen. But glad to see Roger playing really well at the age of 39 to play so well in clay. Like, come on, like, you must be kidding, right? Like, he played so well. Those 3 matches that he played. He, like, There's something
think-
about Roger Federer, right?
Yeah,
Like he
I
just,
think he just got what he wanted. Like he wanted good
Yeah.
match practice, good good time on the court, and he got what he wanted. And I think it'll be a good good out for him in Wimbledon. I expect a good thing. From him.
yeah. Even I expect. I mean, unless he, considering his ranking, right, he can always come up against Novak. or
That could
anyone
actually
important.
serve as a
Better
favor.
for-
Yeah, better.
That-
for
that'll
him.
be-
Like
that'll be-
just like in 2017. Yeah, that could be the
Correct.
case. Yeah,
Right,
something.
guys,
Yeah,
Suddenly
anything can happen. Yeah.
I'm also there in this episode. You know that.
So yeah,
But you
that's
know
what
enough
happens
about
when
this.
Djokovic and Nadal fans collide. Yeah, that's how things goes. Yeah,
Yeah. Wish you could have been Roger Federer's fan.
yeah, man. That would be
Would have been
that would have been a
complete.
great.
But
great
I'm
episode.
a all-time Seppi fan, so I can't be a Roger Federer fan. So.
That's true.
So, yeah, it's good to see Roger back on the court and playing so well, and I'm looking forward to Wimbledon as well. So yeah, that I mean, Djokovic winning in 4 sets against Berrettini was a really good test. Like you said, mental test, and the kind of emotionally tested by the crowd, which was favoring towards Berrettini. So
Exactly.
yeah, I felt it was a really good test for Djokovic to play before playing against Nadal. So yeah, moving on to the quarterfinal 2, which is between Rafa and Schwartzman. To be honest, I didn't expect Schwartzman to make it to quarters because of his form on clay in the recent events. Yeah, I mean, he did really well. He won in straight sets all his 4 matches, first 4 rounds. And then he came to quarters. So yeah, I felt like that was like really good, considering how good he is as a clay court player. He had a good rhythm coming into final against Nadal. And Nadal didn't set till the first. He had his probably it was not the greatest of the first 4 matches that he had, because there were a lot of times where he could have lost a set. There was Sinner. There was in the first round he was about to lose a set. He was in the third set. I felt like he was
right?
on and off.
Yeah,
the moment and tiebreaker, but the opponent was serving for the set. So I felt like Nadal had his ups and downs till in all the matches probably. And Sinner even in the first set. Sinner had his chances in the first set. He was serving for the set as well. So it was very interesting to see, and it was a really good match. I felt like in the second set and the start of the third set, right? How well Schwartzman played, and then Nadal just raised his level in the end of the third set and just like closed the set completely. So that was really good. So what were your thoughts, Vamshi?
I think after the match, Nadal said like those last 9 or I think 9 games, he said that was the best tennis he played through the tournament. And when he plays like that, opponent had no chance. Even Schwartzman said that. Till 4-3, actually Schwartzman was the better player in the third set.
Yes,
you have to agree that. So it could have gone either way, but as you know, with Nadal, as usual, he just raised his level when it needed the most.
I think like he raised his level at the right point, because that was when it was end of the third set, and if had he lost the third set, it would have been very difficult, because Schwartzman would have
physically also physically also he was there, Schwartzman, and crowd was actually supporting Schwartzman. Man,
they always support underdogs, and even
they wanted a good match actually.
They wanted a good match. They knew that if Nadal wins the third set, it's gonna be much straightforward. So what are your thoughts, Bhargav?
I mean, to raise the level at that particular, in that particular set, it's an awesome thing. But one point which Vamshi mentioned, he raised. Nadal knows when to raise his game, but unfortunately that did not happen in semi. Unfortunately, that did not happen in semi-final, because the other player, Djokovic, was too good at that time. But anyways,
So let's move on to the third quarter. Third quarter, I think probably was one of the boring quarterfinals and most.
It was very straightforward. You know what? Davidovich actually had a breakup in the first set itself. He was around 3-1, I guess, something like that. I watched it exactly at that moment. Then I closed it like for some time. Then I saw it after like 15 minutes. It was 6-4, 6-1 already. Zverev. It was really fast. Yeah, Zverev was actually serving really well. So that's why, he kind of,
Zverev, a lot of Zverev matches purely depend on his serve, right? Especially second serve. If he's doing his serve as well, then Zverev most of the times wins game matches because he has a really good, overall game at the he defends well, he attacks well, he has good forehand, backhand, he's also good at the decent at the net, so he has the overall game to beat, and the only thing that's always comes under the radar is his serve. So I think he did pretty much really well across the tournament, so yeah, I mean that was probably like it's an easier quarterfinal of all the four. I felt, and so yeah, Zverev comes out on top, and so yeah, I mean, then that I felt like the quarterfinal 4 could be interesting. Till quarterfinal 1, 2, 3, I felt like Nadal was favorite in this match, and Djokovic was favorite in this match, as well as Zverev, right? But Tsitsipas versus Medvedev, though Medvedev hasn't won a lot of matches on clay this year, and like he has never won French Open matches before this French Open, but I still feel like Medvedev always had a really good game, right? And he's world number 2 for a reason.
Exactly.
So yeah,
he's
I felt
always
that match was.
He doesn't get the recognition for what a player is.
Lot of people call him underrated. I think I've shared you one video, right? I asked all the tennis players like who was underrated. Most of the people said actually
Medvedev, yeah. So like I felt like Medvedev will be having his chances in the match, but Tsitsipas was too strong. I think Tsitsipas had a really good French Open, really good.
Exactly.
Though his initial rounds were easier and he was playing well, but to be honest, he had really good clay season. Overall, he played really well. And then he played a really good French Open, and that was evident in the quarterfinal. He clearly showed that he was such a good player on clay, and he was far a better player on that day versus Medvedev. It was in straight sets, but I felt like Medvedev did play. I feel like Medvedev will have better chances next year in clay. I think he'll start to enjoy playing on clay. So he clearly did not enjoy it this year, but I'm sure he'll do really well starting from next year.
He'll just enjoy, but he'll not win because already there's someone called Djokovic who is on a roll.
Not Djokovic, dude. Nadal is not retired. He will win again. Don't even worry about it. He'll win French Open for sure next year.
So yeah, let's talk about semifinals. One of the disheartening things for all the Nadal fans. But to be honest, that match versus Nadal versus Djokovic was something else. That third set. The first set, I think Nadal started really well. 5-love, and then Djokovic was fighting back, and at some point, it even when Nadal was serving for the set, right, 5-3. It felt like Djokovic. I'm not sure. I remember, but I think he had 1 or 2 break points. But
I think
it was. I think it was.
I don't think he had break points. Yeah, it went to deuce though. It went to deuce. Yeah. Nadal actually was 40 love up. Then it went to deuce. Yeah.
Correct.
It was an interesting.
It was an interesting match where things starting to look like there was a clear momentum shift. Those 3 games with Djokovic won clearly was shifting the momentum. And the way Djokovic started the second set, right? He just, came out all out attack, complete, devastating attack. It was just blow after blow after blow. Djokovic is just giving to Nadal. I felt like, at the end of the second set, both Djokovic definitely was, in the momentum, playing really well. But Nadal, I felt like, there will be something that he will try to do and, change the things. But Djokovic was break up early in the third set, and that third set, it's 93 minutes, 1.5 hour, more than 1.5 hour. I've never seen a set which is played for more than 1.5 hours.
It had to be the greatest set of all time.
Yeah, that has to be the greatest set of all time.
That has to be the greatest set of all time.
Yeah, that has to be. And I mean, it was so exhausting. I felt like whoever had Nadal won that set, he would have won in 4 sets. Djokovic won the set, he would have won it in 4 sets. It was very clear, the amount of effort that was put into, into the third set was just huge. I was just following Twitter while the match was going, and everyone on Twitter was like, are these guys aliens? Even like people like Andy Murray, right, who has played against these two players in French Open in these kind of tough conditions and everything else. He was like, dude, what are these guys playing? Are these from another planet? They really on third set, I felt like they really left the planet and played some other level of tennis.
Yeah, exactly.
It was sad to see Nadal on the other side, but wow, what a set! And overall, that was one of the best matches even I watched as a tennis fan. The superb. There's like no superlative words that can be attached to that kind of a performance. And I felt like Djokovic had to literally play like a superhuman to beat Nadal in French Open, right? You can't beat Nadal on French Open by just playing an average game. And even for Djokovic standards, he fell short so many times in the past, especially in 2020, right? When he was still playing, like it was not very far from here. And it really took a superhuman effort from Djokovic to win against Nadal, which kind of makes me, see, end of the day, like Nadal is not going to win all of them, but Nadal did ensure that, Djokovic actually earns it. It's not that he just got it, he completely earns that win. That's what, like, after Djokovic even won that match, he's even said, it's what a privilege to play against Nadal in French Open. It was just one of the best tennis matches. So what did you think, Vamshi?
As I already mentioned, that was the greatest match for me, for sure. And that was very tense match. I was actually shivering. At some moments. Even though I thought Djokovic was underdog, I thought Nadal was gonna win. But at some point, you know that Djokovic has a chance to win. That moment, it actually hits. That's when I started shivering a bit. It's actually very tense, man. That's a very tense match. And I think the biggest point for Djokovic is after Fowler winning those 3 games were very crucial. I think because had he lost that set 6-love, it would have been like more similar to the last year's final. I think it would have been somewhere in his mind. Last time also this happened. It could happen again. So winning those 3 games, and after that we clearly see that momentum is in Djokovic's side. Then he actually started the second set really well. Then he went on with it. Actually, he was there, and he had the momentum in third set also. He was serving for the set. And as you said, the greatest set. Yeah, man. I don't have any words for that. Yeah, man. After I think the best point for me as a Djokovic fan, at 6-5, Nadal had a set point. And Djokovic played a great drop shot. I think that was the highest point for me. After that drop shot, I felt I think Djokovic is in right mode to win right now. Like he has the mental, that toughness he had. Yeah, man. I think mentally that had to be the toughest challenge, to beat Nadal on clay. And even though Nadal was not at his best, clearly, we have to agree. He was not at his best. It still needed a superhuman effort from Djokovic. I mean, that's how good Nadal is on clay. And also, dude, he lost every match. I think he lost a match in every 6 years. So next year, 2027, he'll lose a match. Till that, he'll have Grand Slam.
That's just too much. It's not a sequence.
That's gonna happen.
Dude, if Nadal can play till 2027, I'll be more than happy to see Nadal win so many matches. But it's not gonna happen. It's just too much. But to be honest, like I felt
But
Nadal,
I clearly think he can win at least 2. I'm not even kidding. At least 2 he can easily win.
I hope so. I hope.
You don't
Djokovic
see this kind
has
of
to
performances
retire.
daily, right?
Either Djokovic has to retire, or he should not come for French Open.
Dude, what are the chances of Djokovic repeating this performance? It's not high, right? It's very less. There are very less chances. That's another planet type of effort.
I feel like one thing Nadal will look at this tournament and realize, not just this tournament, I think throughout the year, he was having physical issues, right? He was having physical level drop, not even like a mental drop or a game drop. He was having physical level drops throughout this year. I feel like that's something that he needs to fix, and he clearly knows. Like Nadal after losing French Open, he's not gonna say, let's back up. he's not someone who will say that.
Exactly.
He will
That's
compete
my point.
really hard.
Yeah.
I'm expecting him to like really, like, I don't think he'll play Wimbledon, which is something we'll talk about, but like he will definitely push hard in US
I think he'll
Open,
cut short
Australian
some
Open.
tournaments. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
he'll
think
play
I
all
want him.
tournaments from now.
I want him to be like Federer, and he has to cut
Yeah,
short
yeah.
a few
That
tournaments.
I think he'll do that.
Yeah, he'll cut short. He'll definitely cut short. He is someone who doesn't really care about rankings or anything. Like he's like, I mean, I'm okay with third or fourth or fifth or sixth as long as I play good tennis. I know I can always win. So yeah, that was about that the greatest match probably ever played, but I have my own reservations that 2013 was the greatest match ever played because Nadal won that match. To be honest, like that was also equally good. But
Equally
this,
good,
I
yeah.
think, the
And
set
2020
wise,
Australian Open final. As a French Open, yeah, you can say that 2030 semi-final because Djokovic had a lead. He was breakup, right, in the fifth set.
correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
So
yeah, that was one.
actually,
one
Nadal was serving for the match, I think, in the fourth set, or he had like 4-3 up. He had a
he was
breakup.
serving for the
Djokovic
match. He
had
was
to
serving
break.
for 6-5. Then he
Yeah.
got broken and he lost the tiebreaker and it went to the fifth set. So that was also one heck of a match.
Lot of drama. Yeah. So,
correct. Lot of drama there also.
Tough
That net
competition.
point where Nadal points out and says,
Yeah.
Oh,
that
is one moment that I don't
painful,
think
very
any
painful.
Djokovic fans will forget.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about the other semi-final, right, which was between Tsitsipas and Zverev. Tsitsipas started really well, 2 sets up, and Zverev started to make his comeback. Zverev started to serve really well, play his game really well, and then Tsitsipas, Zverev won the third and fourth set, and into the fifth. Like it's hard, hard to come back. From a 2 sets down, and we always know how difficult it is will be for Zverev to even come back and win the match. And when we were in the fifth set, I felt like by the end of the fourth set, we kind of felt Zverev probably will win the match. That was the that was the momentum he was having.
Exactly.
But Tsitsipas, I felt just mentally toughened up, started the set really well. He went to break up, and then he never let Zverev come back into the match. So yeah, what were your thoughts? I guess I'm sure all three of us were even discussing the match that was happening. So yeah, what were your thoughts?
I just realized that you guys talked about the second semi-final before the first semi-final.
Yeah, but then that's true. But then when you look at the draw, right? Like Djokovic has the first quarter, then Nadal second, then third. This thing. It's just the order of play by French Open. They just changed it.
I think it's the order of excitement in which you have put in these things. But yeah,
that is true.
I saw that match also, Zverev versus Tsitsipas. Yeah, Tsitsipas. I felt Zverev also played well, but obviously Tsitsipas is on another level. I mean, currently in his whole career as well, he's on a different level. He's called a Greek god for a reason. So I think that match, Tsitsipas, he's going to be. I think he can be competitive in coming French Opens. If that's what I think, he can be very competitive in upcoming French Opens. Yeah,
that's for sure. And Tsitsipas, I think one of the things that you I really noticed is that after the match, right, when Tsitsipas won, and when he was doing press, and there were so many Greek fans there, and it was a very special moment because he's the first male player from Greece to actually make it to a final of a Grand Slam. It means a huge deal for their country, and Tsitsipas is their god, and they the way Serbia had Djokovic, right, when at the start of his career, and how Serbia as a nation was getting recognized among European countries and around the world, and I feel like Tsitsipas is that kind of a person for Greece, and I really hope that I'm sure that he will, and I really hope that he wins a lot of Grand Slams, and gives that kind of that kind of a hero for Greek fans.
Yeah, he has that physical ability and also mental ability as well, along with the game that he has.
What do you think, Vamshi?
I think start of the fifth match, Zverev had 2 break points. And he missed actually two of them. It's not like Tsitsipas played really great on those points. Zverev had his chances. Again, that mental Yeah, we always talk about Zverev, that mental strength.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was clearly evident on that moment. After that, Zverev, Tsitsipas immediately got the break, and he never looked back. Yeah,
yeah,
Tsitsipas, he actually showed me in the quarterfinal itself. He was playing really well. I've seen that match, complete match. Yeah, Medvedev actually trying so hard, but Tsitsipas had all the answers. Yeah,
yeah.
and even in the semis too, he actually started
Yeah.
the match really well. In the finals also, yeah.
Yeah, the same. Like I felt, but talking about just a little bit about Zverev, I felt like the thing about Zverev is that I think he has improved from where he was like 2 years before when he couldn't even make the post like fourth round. Though he was good and very good, he couldn't make progress into the final rounds of Grand Slam. But now he's kind of making it to final stages of Grand Slam, and I feel like he'll be there, but he's going to take more time than what we anticipated of him. But I think he has all the things that he has in his game, and he will be for sure will be contending for a lot of titles in the future. Let's talk about the final. After Djokovic, like after Djokovic playing against Nadal, I didn't see any physical issues that Djokovic faced in the match against Nadal, and I felt like Djokovic will be completely ready emotionally, physically, everything for the final, and I kind of expected it not to be a very tough match because I've seen what Djokovic was able to accomplish in Australian Open final. I saw similar to Tsitsipas, Daniel Medvedev plays really well in hard courts. He made it to the final, and I clearly saw how dominating or how one-sided that match was, right? And I kind of had my reservations of Tsitsipas probably taking a set, but that also with great difficulty. If he loses first set, there's no chance. That's what I felt. Um, and yeah, they started off slightly. I think on both started off very nervous. They had their nervous starts, especially Tsitsipas was very nervous. I think the first game took 10 minutes or something to finish. Tsitsipas started off very nervously, and then he started to gain more and more momentum. And I still felt Djokovic is playing really well. It was always going to be Djokovic was going to win based on how I saw the set was shaping up. And till I remember, I think Djokovic lost only 1 or 2 points in his serve till I think 5-4.
Yeah.
4-5 Djokovic to serve, and suddenly he gave a break set point to Tsitsipas. And I was like, dude, like, is this going to be like a magic? Somehow Tsitsipas will take the set here, and it can just you never know, right? It can start in his favor.
Yeah.
And then Djokovic, I felt, like suddenly he started to drop his game and Tsitsipas raised his level. And in the tiebreaker, was very close. And Tsitsipas went on to win the first set. And the second set, I felt, Djokovic didn't show up. Like suddenly, like, I don't know what happened. Djokovic was mentally down or something was happening. Djokovic couldn't, play the way he played against Nadal or any of the matches earlier, right? And Tsitsipas was suddenly within 2 hours, and Tsitsipas was two sets up. He was in a similar situation, like the way he was in semifinals. And there was Zverev in semifinals, and here's Djokovic. You cannot compare Zverev and Djokovic for sure at this point of time. And I felt, Djokovic will start to, Djokovic went for a break after the second set. I knew, like, he's going to, clear his thoughts, come back stronger, think, obviously tactically he needs to change something, right? He cannot just come back and say, I'll play this. Probably like hitting more serves here, more serves there, something, and tactically he changed things. And things started to fall into his place. Tsitsipas started to feel like he was in a semi-final match where he was in Zverev. He was able to see the same things again. And soon it was 2 sets each. And Djokovic was clearly in momentum, and it never looked like Djokovic is going to lose the 5th set, right? Like at the end of 4th set, I was like, okay, this is going to be straight 5th set. But somehow, Tsitsipas was trying to stick around. He was playing really well. He gave so many break points, and he was all saving those break points. Though he was breakdown. Yeah, though he was breakdown. And it was one heck of a match. What did you think, Vamshi?
Yeah, actually, Djokovic made it very complicated. I don't know why. He started well actually. He's serving the ball really well. I don't know what happened after the 6-5 game. He
Yeah,
got the break. He
yeah,
got
he
the
was
break. He was serving for the set. I don't know what happened after that. He lost the rhythm in his serve, and in the second set he just mentally checked out. I don't know again what was the issue. But when you just look at last three sets, you feel like there is a difference between Djokovic and Tsitsipas. He actually
yes,
showed it in those three sets. And
yeah,
once he got the break in the fourth set, I felt like Djokovic actually can win this, because once he got the break, because he was serving good actually after the second set, he got back that rhythm. Then
yeah,
yeah, after that it was a straightforward match. Once he got
yeah.
the break in the fourth set, then I thought it was a straightforward. Yeah,
Tsitsipas also, said that, when like he told like once Djokovic came back from the break,
yeah.
he was a
He came
completely
back as a
different Djokovic
different player. Yeah,
that he was a completely different player that he had to play. And, Djokovic is, it's very hard to, if there is someone who can come back in a final 2 sets down, and if you have to bet on someone, it has to be Djokovic, right? And the way he,
yeah,
once comes back to momentum, that one thing we've not spoken is in Musetti match, right, where he was in a similar situation, and when he came back against Musetti, and obviously Musetti and
yeah,
Tsitsipas can all be compared for sure, but a final 2 sets down, and you've just like you've just beaten like Nadal, and you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. There was so much pressure, 19th Grand Slam, the GOAT race, a lot of these things, and Djokovic had this pressure, and he just came really, like, that was probably one of the comebacks that I've ever seen. And so yeah, that was one heck of a final, and I felt like overall Djokovic was definitely like completely deserving to win, and I probably like it's probably his one of the greatest slams that he has ever played. So yeah, what did you think of it, Bhargav?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys covered almost everything, but I have one question there. I felt some discomfort in Tsitsipas in third and fourth set. Something was wrong. I don't know if it's injury or if it's something else. I don't know. But I mean, did you guys also observe it, or something happened actually? I mean, he was down. I don't know if it's physically or mentally, but he was down in third set and fourth set.
Um, so he did take medical time out, right? He did take medical time out, and there was a doctor who came onto the court. Um, I didn't see really a lot of I mean, he was having some discomfort, which was just slight signs in third and fourth set. But I felt like when he was in fifth set, right? I felt he was there physically.
Yeah,
Fifth set,
fifth
he was
set he was.
completely there. That's when I realized that probably it could have been like a minor issue that he was going through physically. But since the way he played fifth set, I have to say that probably it was just a minor thing.
Hmm.
he had some back issue, I guess.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
has he has had back issues. I mean, come on, you can't expect. These guys are playing Grand Slams
yeah,
finals for the first time, and this is the first time they would have been like that. And Clay is very difficult. Like, to be honest, Clay, like I think Djokovic's coach also, after the match told Clay is
yeah.
so demanding and so difficult. And to win on Clay is the toughest challenge possible. And
Yeah,
I was just saying that
because
someone has done it
Rafa
13
Nadal.
times.
Yeah,
Someone has done it
exactly.
13 times.
Nobody can beat
So
him. Yeah. So yeah,
yeah.
that's why
So
it was
if
the
Clay is
toughest.
demanding, then 13 times someone has won it. So I mean, yeah, of course, it's going to be very, very demanding. And Tsitsipas, we have to give credit to play such high level. And so yeah, he might be feeling some physical issues, but hopefully he will recover and he'll play his best in or in across 5 sets against people like Nadal and Djokovic in the future.
Um, so yeah, after two sets also, as I said, as I always said, I was expecting Djokovic to win it. I was telling my dad also that no, Djokovic. I don't know about Djokovic. Djokovic is a different level player. He can win from here also. Even after Djokovic in the match, my dad was like, "No, this match he's deserved by that young player. He played very well." and
Yeah.
Djokovic is Djokovic for some reason. Hold him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand where your dad is coming from.
But these three guys, no, they can win even though if they have a bad day, they can still win the match. It's not like if you see the 2019 Wimbledon final, Federer was clearly the better player. Throughout the match, he was the better player. Djokovic actually played just 3 sides at tiebreakers really well. He did not make any unforced errors. He just made one. So that was the difference. Yeah, you have to, play the points. Yeah, that's the big points well. Yeah, that's what they do. These three guys. Yeah.
So Djokovic wins his 19th Grand Slam, his second French Open. He becomes the first player in the Open era to win all 4 Grand Slams at least twice, which is an amazing feat. I mean, he has been trying, and even Nadal had his chances in Australian Open, but Djokovic is the first person to do it. All credit to Djokovic and his team to do that well in French Open, and it's completely deserving. And he is very close now. He's just 1 Grand Slam away from the 20th Grand Slam, which will make him equal to Nadal and Federer, which is not too far. We are just 2 weeks away from Wimbledon, and Djokovic is the defending champion there. So all credit goes to Novak. And and this all credit goes to Novak, brings such a big smile on Vamshi, and it's a great day for Djokovic fans for sure.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. We'll also be covering Wimbledon in 2 weeks, the preview and also the wrap up after the tournament. So yeah, that's a good wrap up, good French Open that happened, and it's good to see a new. I mean, it's not something everyone expected Nadal to win, and it's good to see a new player. I mean, he's not a new one, but it's good to see Djokovic.
Yeah, you have to say new. You have to say it. New is not a bad word. New is a good word. Yeah, you can use new here. Yeah.
It's good to see Djokovic winning, but yeah, I think I'm still expecting Nadal to win at least 2 more French Opens. As I already mentioned, we'll also come back to you on with the preview on Wimbledon in a week's time, week or week and a half's time. So yeah, until then,
very special guest, right? You will be with a very special guest.
Yeah, very special guest.
Yeah.
Sankalp's roommate. Honestly, you were a very special guest to us because of your comedy timing for the first thing.
Oh, okay. I think this is the perfect time to stop again. I think timing. That's what. I think you need to stop the video.
So I'm closing it now. Thanks Sankalp, and thanks Vamshi for sharing your insights on the complete French Open, and you guys didn't even let me talk in this episode.
Maybe next time, Bart.
Wimbledon preview.
Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching our videos. If you like our content, please do like, share, and comment on this video, and also please subscribe to our channel Embedded Magician. See you in the next episode of Wimbledon, and also we might do a few other technical episodes as well in the coming week. Thank you. Thank you. Bye everyone. Bye Sankalp. Bye Vamshi.